What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the 12 Days of Christmas special, where we reveal 12 new cars that we bought back to back in 12 days. And we are up to video number 10, car number 10. This one is an absolute banger because we are throwing it back to 1951. Now, this isn't just any car from 1951. In fact, this might be the only one known like this. So we're basically talking a one of one, but from 1951 and from an iconic manufacturer. So without further ado, introducing our new 1951 Mercedes-Benz 220. Now, this is not just any Mercedes 220. In fact, they made a lot of Mercedes 220s, but what makes this one very unique is that it is not a sedan. Obviously, as you can see, it has two doors, two suicide doors, and it has a hardtop. So this is basically a Mercedes 220 Coupe, which in and of itself is very rare. They only made 85 of them in 1954 and 1955. But I just said that this car is a 1951 model year. So how does that work if it's 1951 but the coupes didn't come out until 1954? That's what makes this car incredibly rare and cool. So I bought this thing quite a while ago. As you can see, it's been sitting in the garage. I've been trying to keep it under wraps, but everybody sees it in the background of the videos saying, "What's the deal with that Mercedes? Please make a reveal video on that." So I figured 12 Days of Christmas, it's a special event, so we might as well reveal a very special car. So it is covered in dust, cut us a little bit of slack. We do need to clean it. It has been a little while, but we did have it professionally detailed and polished, and overall, it really came back to life. So he was hardly using the car, and that's how we ended up with it. So I'm sure you guys want to know all about it and the history on it. Does it run? I actually spent quite a bit of time researching this car before we shelled out the amount of money that we did, which was a lot of money. I wanted to be sure that it was a good deal. So let me take you guys on a little tour around it. Obviously, the suicide doors, super cool. Everybody always says, I mean, just the lines, like, take a look at the lines. This is just straight out of the 1950s. It looks so cool. Classic styling, and it's also shared. The body is shared with the convertible. We'll get into more of that in just a second. I'll explain more, but really cool with the suicide doors. Everybody always makes a comment about that. A minor restoration was done in, I believe, the mid-1990s, so not factory paint, not factory interior, but still really nice nonetheless. They clearly spent a lot of money and time with it, because look at this, really beautiful condition, all the wood grain going throughout the dash and stuff. Really pretty car. They do not make them like they used to. You can see from the factory, it actually had these suitcases that would stack right here. So when you're traveling, you can bring all your stuff with you. These ones, they're long gone, but you can still see the straps of how it would strap down. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's the spare tire. We did put 4 new tires on this car because the tires were from the 90s. So that's the first thing we did so that it could run and drive safely. I did say run and drive. This car does run and drive, or maybe I should say did. Right now, currently, it does not run and drive. That's because we're doing like a hot spark conversion and putting a new distributor in it that we had rebuilt. This car, being 1951, but also being a coupe, is very unique, and that's what I think makes it the only one known. So this car started life out as a convertible, like I mentioned, and was factory converted into a hardtop. So whoever bought the car, I guess, didn't want a convertible top and they wanted a hardtop, but they didn't offer it Mercedes-Benz because, like I said, it only started to be offered 3 years later. So this guy, whoever it was, don't know who originally bought it, was probably super rich. I mean, this car was so much money back in the day. post-war, really expensive, and this was the first one to come back with the inline six, so it actually makes pretty good power, like 90 horsepower, which is good for back in the day. Obviously slow in today's standards, but this was like a legit car and really expensive. So whoever bought it had some money to have this thing converted. And if we go on the other side, we can see the badge of the Coachbuilder that converted the car. This video is crazy. Everybody watching right now is probably like, what the heck is JR Garage just bought this thing? Like, I know this is coming way out of left field. You know what? You know, a good deal. I can't pass up a good deal. And this thing is so cool. And we've never had anything this old on the channel. So I was like, well, why not? I got to buy it. So anyway, check it out. If you guys can read this, let me butcher this German real quick. Sindelfinger Carrosserie. I know that one, Carrosserie. So that was the Coachbuilder that converted this car originally in 1951. So they took, as far as I know, I've tried to do some digging. It's really, really confusing, and we're dealing with like, everything's in German. I ordered the original certificate of this car. Again, it's all in German. Obviously, it's not in English, so it makes it a little hard to read, and it's like super like, you know, messy. Back in the day, the record keeping at Mercedes was obviously not the best. So they sent me the original build sheet, but it's terrible. It's barely legible, and it's all in German. This data plate here, because let's see if I remember. Again, all this stuff I researched months ago, so I'm just trying to remember it all. But the body number ending in 51, that lets you know it's a 1951 model year. A certain number means that it came from the factory as a convertible, and this has that number. That proves that it started life as a convertible, and then that Coachbuilder swapped it over to a factory hardtop. So there you go. That's what makes it probably the only one known of a 1951 with a hardtop that was factory-ish, because it wasn't just some hacked together thing later. This was, you know, originally done probably in 1951. So what does that make it worth? It seems like it's really tough to value now, because a convertible, they sell on Bring a Trailer pretty often. They made about 1,000 of them, and they sell between $100,000 and $200,000, let's say, depending on condition and restoration. And that's what this car started life as. So does it make it worth more or less, given that it has the factory hardtop conversion? It's one of a kind as far as I know, but it's also like modified and not the original convertible. So is it worth more or less than the convertible? Comment down below. Even if you say it's worth what a coupe is worth, well, like I said, the factory coupes in 54 and 55 sell for still 6 figures or more, because they only made 85 of them. So I guess regardless, it's rare either way and worth a lot of money. But it'd be interesting to see what you guys think it's worth in the comments down below, or if you know these cars or you're experts in them, or you know this car in particular, please hit me up, comment down below, because it's really hard figuring this one out. But if you want to buy it, hit me up too. Maybe we'll sell it, but I do want to get it running and properly, you know, put some miles on it, because I think it would be really fun. And as you can see here, if you come around, it's got a, of course it's a manual transmission. It's got a 4-speed in the tree. Maybe that's reverse. 1, that's 2, that's 4. Yeah, I forgot the way the pattern goes, but I'm pretty sure it's a 4-speed transmission. The parking brake, speedometer, all that good stuff. So the mirror is here. This goes right here up on the fender right there. I just didn't put it on yet because we're gonna be putting the car cover on it and I don't want it to get broken. It's a 4-seater, and this actually folds up if you wanted to have just like a luggage shelf, so pretty cool. Or 4 seats. Now, see? It runs. I think we can do a little better than that. All right, yeah. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yes, it's running. All right, good enough for the video. You see, it runs. Just needs the fuel pump back, and then it's a distributor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that we rebuilt. Okay. Can't remember all things across all these cars, but you can see it here. It's all shiny and nice looking. Right down there, that little part. That was Yeah, thank goodness our buddy Steve was able to rebuild that, because it does not exist. I searched the entire world for multiple months waiting for one to be listed, trying to find a working distributor for a Mercedes 220. No luck. And even if there was one, back in the day I saw one that were listed like years ago, they wanted thousands of dollars, because I think people know that you can't find these parts, so you can just gouge whoever wants them for thousands of dollars for random stuff. So he rebuilt it for like $300-400, and now that's good. And then, like I said, we're doing the hot spark conversion, and then the new fuel pump's going in. So until then, it won't run. I wish all that was done by now for the video. We wanted to make its first video driving it around, but you know, for 12 days of Christmas, gotta do what you gotta do. So we replaced the rear bumper. The old one was starting to rust a little bit, so we actually found one of those. And then a couple like little lights were missing. So little lenses, stuff like that, all pretty minor. It was overall in really nice condition. So now we just have a few things left to do in the engine, and that should be dialed in. Oh, it's also got a sunroof. Let me show you this. Super cool. This thing was pretty, I mean, it's got some cool equipment for 1951. If you can see here, it's this handle, twist it, and then it opens up. Isn't that cool? Nice. Yeah, just so you guys know how expensive this car is. This car costs more than the truck, the Bentley ML63, the twin turbo 370Z. Oh, do they know about that one yet? Okay, we won't show that. You can give them a little bit. Okay, there you go. Yeah, 370Z, the Porsche Boxster S, the Aston Martin, the Bentley, and the other Boxster all combined. Like, we shelled out a ton of money for this thing. So people are probably watching thinking it's like an old junky Mercedes. Like, no, this thing is like something you would see maybe in a museum or something like that. The sedans aren't worth a lot of money. The 4-door sedans, those are like 10 grand because they made thousands of them. But any 2-door 220 Mercedes, golden. There you guys go. Well, I hope you enjoyed car number 10. We got 2 left and 2 more good ones to reveal. I hope you've enjoyed the variety. I bet you didn't see this coming, you know, surprise, there you go, way out of left field. Yeah, one other old car coming in 2 videos. It's gonna be the last one, I think. So stay tuned for that. Guess we'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy.